Hello, my loving souls. This is Olesya again, and I'm continuing sharing with you my beautiful, amazing experiences that were taking place for the last year and a half. Those experiences involve some mystical and magical aspects. It also involves some energy and communication with the energy. Additionally, these experiences will involve some unseen forces that are communicating to us on, let's say, trying to communicate with us constantly and always. It's just a matter of us opening our channel and for this divine guidance to come through. So if you're watching my videos for the first time, please check out my videos starting from video number 1, because it's like reading a book or watching a movie. You possibly would want to do this right from the beginning. At least this is for me, right? I like to watch I like to watch a movie right from the beginning. So it will provide you just more information and more details about the developing story. And also it would be easier not to take things out of the context, right? Because I am providing a lot of clarification. Sometimes I will tell the story in one video and provide the clarification to some of the items. It will come back to me, let's say, in the later video as well. So it's beneficial to watch all videos kind of in order. Okay, so also, it's very important, guys, pay attention to your body sensations, as I mention in every video, because that's natural ability of your soul to let you know what is true and what is honest and what you need to pay attention to and what you need to expand on. This is basically natural ability of your inner voice of your soul to let you know that something resonates with your frequency. Additionally, please keep your mind open. Please stay open through my story, because when you are staying open, you allowing yourself to expand in many areas of your life, because you're receiving new information. Per my example, as I was previously before, in many cases, the information, let's say, we are kind of cheating ourselves from living our authentic truth when we are closing up, from any type of information. Well, sometimes I guess it's good to close up from like the toxic information, or from information that does not serve your highest and the best, right? So in many cases, it's good to kind of filter and sort through that information. However, this is not the time and this is not the place, with my videos. Please stay open. Okay, so in the prior video, we kind of discussed that my communications with the pendulum, it's escalated and it's increased. Pendulum now, this energy that was moving through the pendulum was choosing the cards, was choosing messages from the books, was choosing even the clothing that I asked for advice. Please let me know what clothing I should wear, let's say, right? And this energy from the pendulum, it will start choosing the clothing for me, right? So things like this started to happen. Also, pendulum and the energy through the pendulum, I would say energy through the pendulum, would bring me to my photo album. And this photo album contained pictures from Russia with my classmates, with my like childhood friends, with my let's say family, my great grandparents and whatnot, right? And so this energy started to basically show in every picture of every person, if this person is with us alive on this physical plane, if this person passed away, or this person either they're sick and on their way to recovery, and if they are sick and their condition is deteriorating and most likely they're going to pass away soon. And so this information was very well validated through this energy communication and through just the information that I knew about those people, right? Okay, so at that point as well, I started receiving some visions as well, and I described one vision in my previous video where one of my friends, she experienced some problems with her adult daughter, and that energy, basically, I started receiving visions that helped me, kind of like a guidance visions that helped to gain a better and new perspective on that situation of my friends and my friend and her daughter through acceptance, right? And so in many cases this guidance will start coming in through visions now. So I had another example which I wanted to which I would like to discuss in this video. So through this communication, through energy communication, the pendulum now brought my attention to one specific photo in my photo album. And on this photograph, there will be my classmates and it will be their parents, right? In particular, it will show me one man. He is the father of my classmate, one man, and it showed a diagonal line through his picture. I knew this man passed away a few years ago. However, the pendulum started basically showing the diagonal line. And as you guys remember from my prior videos, right? So pendulum communication worked this specific way. So if the pendulum will move vertically, the person is still alive with us on the physical plane. If pendulum will start moving horizontally, the person passed away and no longer with us. If the pendulum will start basically going horizontally, it means this person is in how can I say, might be sick and either on their way to recovery or on their way to basically their physical condition deteriorating, and they might pass away soon, right? So that's the energy communication. However, it brought me to this picture of this man who is the father of my classmate, and it started to show the diagonal line through his picture. And I knew at that point that so first of all, it showed the horizontal, letting me know that this person is no longer with us, he passed away, and I knew that information. It's kind of wanted to validate information for me as well. So, but and then it started to show the diagonal line through his picture. And I couldn't quite understand what it meant. However, I also, again, at the same time as it was showing the diagonal line through the picture of my classmate's dad, I was asking that question, what does this mean? This man is already not with us, right? So what does it mean when the pendulum started showing the diagonal line? And so there was again kind of like a inserted thought. I did not have a vision, but there was an inserted thought into my head, very clear. So now we're not talking about his physical condition, because now we already know that he passed away. The pendulum showed me that he passed away. So right now it's all about his soul. And now it's all about his personal energy. So it showed me kind of in between. So as per earlier communication about chakras and person's physical condition, now pendulum was communicating to me, if the soul has transitioned, then it's going to show me the vertical line. If person just passed away, and here it will show me, so they're just passed away, let's say, and the soul has not transitioned yet or whatnot, it will show me kind of like the horizontal line. But in this case, it showed me the diagonal line, and it's all about the soul. And so I was kind of like sitting on this for a while, right? And then in next time around, the pendulum will bring, I'm like, okay, so so his soul has not transitioned. And I haven't talked to this friend for a while, to be honest, and I'm not quite sure what I'm supposed to do here, right? But when energy communicates and when energy sends you messages, sends us messages, it's not just because. It's always for a reason. It's always for a reason. However, I did not want to make any rash decisions and contact my friend and whatnot and let her know this information. So I was kind of sitting on this for a few days, right? So and then it will bring my attention again to this photo album, and it again will bring my attention to his picture again, and it will start basically showing me again diagonal line through his picture. Like every person, it will show like normal, either horizontal or vertical line, or some other ones it will show me as I described previously, right? If the person's sick, and if they're on the recovery, or if person's sick and their health condition is deteriorating. So here again it will bring me to his picture and again start showing this diagonal line. And I was like, okay, so what am I supposed to do with this information, right? What am I supposed to do with this information? Because even though my friend and I could call my friend and let her know this information, I mean, her dad passed away like a few years back, and I'm pretty sure she already went through kind of like the grieving process, and she already went through some type of, I think she moved on at that point, right? Because her father was not, he was passed away already for, I think, 7 or 10 years at that point, right? So it's kind of like rubbing the old wound in that sense, right? So I didn't really want to call my friend again. So at that point, sorry guys, I'm in the forest again, and there's like a dry grass and then insects and whatnot, and sometimes some type of mosquitoes. Even though I chose location, this specific location, the other location had a lot of mosquitoes where I made the first videos. This location does not have mosquitoes, and I was surprised today to see a couple of them. But anyway, so let's continue. But this thought about her dad, my friend's dad, it would not leave my mind. It would constantly like be there, I would constantly think about this, and it's not like it's almost like I could not move on from that thought. It was constantly like in my head, and every time when I go to go to the photo album, the pendulum, it will bring me to this page again. It will bring me to this page, and it will bring me to this man's picture, and it will again start diagonal line. And I said, okay, I gotta gain a little bit more information about this. And so in one of my sessions of meditations that I've been doing at that time, I started receiving visions, right? So in one vision, I think I saw his kind of, so on the middle of the meditation, there would be an image of this man in my vision. And then at that point, okay, got it. And then it will show me kind of like a swamp, kind of like a swampy waters, kind of like in the area where a lot of like swamp, kind of like a swamp, where you can just basically get sucked into the swamp. So this type of area, right? And also kind of like a tunnel. And guys, when vision came in, it almost comes in it comes in kind of the information comes in from multiple points, and it will show me the whole picture. The analogy comes in. It's kind of, if you're looking at the cube, you're kind of looking at the cube, but from in the computer graphic, where you can see the cube is rotating, and you kind of can see all sides of this cube simultaneously at the same time. So that's how the vision would come in. All sides of the vision will come in, and it will complete the whole picture, right? So in that case, I kind of understood. So I saw the image of this man, and then I saw kind of like a swampy grounds, kind of like the one that is kind of like a quicksand also, which will suck you in, right? If you are in that swamp, you can basically you can drown and whatnot. And then I saw some type of like a tunnel, and there was maybe I think there were some type of like thorns, right? Some type of thorns, and through that, I also saw a word which was spelled out for me, like forgiveness, right? This man, and then forgiveness. it was spelled out. Like in the other video I was talking about, it was talking about like acceptance. In this case it was talking about the forgiveness, like at that time I also heard the man's voice, and it's basically, the message was stating, I put her through so much. I put her through so much. Like we had such a rocky path, or maybe difficult journey in that sense, or something was there was a long way. In that way was very, very challenging. It was and the message came in, I put her, my friend, right? He was talking about my friend. I put her through so much. She's been with me through so much. And so that's how the message came in. And after that point, I decided to basically call my friend, because I kind of had the clarification. And when the visions come in, guys, they come in combination with the emotion, right? With an emotion as well. So as I told you, it's kind of like one image comes together, kind of like in a computer graphic, almost kind of like this cube, right? So there would be like an image of this man, and there will be picture of this like swampy grounds, and there will be a word that will be spelled out, and there will be also that communication. I put her, she's been with me through so much, right? And it all comes together simultaneously at the same time. And at the same time, you also, like, I was experiencing the emotion. I was experiencing the emotion like almost like the person who is seeking forgiveness, the person who is feeling guilty, the person who is searching for something that, like almost begging for forgiveness in that sense. So it all comes together. So that vision, now I understood. So my senses are taking me kind of like further, right? My senses are taking me further. It's not just visions, it's not just being able to like see the words and the faces and whatnot. It's also the emotion and the feeling that comes through this, and it's also being able to hear. It's not like a I would say it's not like a hear, but it's a thought which comes, guys, it's a little bit challenging for me to really explain how this all comes in together, because it's like comes in at the same time, and it just like makes that picture. It's kind of all parts of this vision, of this communication, they come together at the same time, and they complete that message, So, and again, I was feeling that emotion through me. So it's at that time I decided to call my friend, and it was not easy for me to call my friend, As I stated previously, I kind of was thinking about, okay, so this friend of mine, she already, her dad passed away for a while now, This is kind of like rubbing the old wound, but this energy would not release me until I actually got the message to this friend. So I called her and I said, I'm not quite sure how to bring it to your attention, but I explained to her what's been happening in details, just like I explained to you in this video. And I said, it seems like your dad, his soul cannot transition to another dimension until there's a forgiveness granted, from your side. And she said, and guys, I just wanted to let you know, also make this clarification. My friend and I, we had very, very seldom communication at that point. I did not have any details about her dad, their relationship, or any details about his passing, okay? So I did not have any information about anything that involves her and her dad. So, and I told her message exactly how it came through. And she said, Olesya, this is kind of like right on point, because what happened is that her dad had really bad drinking problem. Her dad had very bad drinking problem, especially at the end especially in the last years of his life. And she stated to me, Olesya, he put me through so much. You have no idea, Olesya. You have no idea. He put me through so much trouble, through so much pain, through so much like disappointment and whatnot. And we discussed this, guys, in the previous video. It's very hard. It's very hard for some of us when our loved ones are basically getting into this type of self-destructive behavior, especially what involves some substances like alcohol or drugs, you know. So it's very difficult, and I can imagine what type of well, I can't really 100%. I cannot imagine because I'm not her, right? So I did not walk in her shoes in that sense, right? So I cannot really assume all this pain that she had to go through with her dad. However, she said, Olesya, you have no idea what he put me through, especially through the last kind of years. Not last years, I guess it was a continuous type of battle with his alcoholism that he was, he had a serious problem. And so they were very painful experiences that my friend was going through with father who was kind of self-destructing himself with this problem. And so she said, so I told her that her dad is kind of seeking forgiveness, and his soul cannot transition until this forgiveness is granted fully. And she said, Olesya, I already forgave him. I already moved on. I don't know what else to do. And as she was telling me these things over the phone, there was like, no, like there was a message again. There was a message in my head that is like an inserted thought, and this energy was communicating to me. Either her dad was starting to communicate with me, or this energy started communicate with me. No, not full forgiveness have been granted. Not full forgiveness have been granted. And so, and even though in many cases, even though we think that we already, let's say, as I also kind of stated previously, as we are born, our soul is pure. And under traumatic experiences and painful experiences that are happening with us through this lifetime, there is some residue of those feelings that we, let's say, of that pain, of that feelings of regret, feelings of guilt, feeling of kind of bitterness and whatnot. Those type of heavier vibrational frequency, those are heavy emotions that are starting to clog our soul, starting to dim our light, our natural light, right? And so in many cases, when we go through these traumatic experiences, it's very important for us to basically let go of those emotions very quickly. Yes, understand kind of the lessons that we're learning through this experience to assess the situation, but release those emotions very quickly and release them fully. And in many cases, we might think that because if those emotions are not released, if those feelings are not released fully and quickly, then those emotions become suppressed and repressed within us. And it's actually, they result in emotional knots. And emotional knots are bringing to us this heaviness. And if we felt the energy on a very kind of sensitive level, we would feel this heaviness within ourselves, you know. And in many cases, these emotional knots, they may result in some more serious problems within us. They may result even in some physical illnesses as well, because our personal energy starts to vibrate on this heavier frequency. On this heavier frequency, it's no longer kind of light. When we release those unprocessed feelings and emotions very quickly, let's say not very quickly. I mean, there is like some type of timeline, right? And everyone is dealing with their emotions and feelings differently. It's never kind of like the same. But let's say if after traumatic experience, it's very beneficial for us to spend time by ourselves, connect with our inner voice, and try to basically find out what emotional knots we might have, right, and release them very, very quickly. In that sense, and release them fully. Sometimes this process is a healing process, and it will take, for some people it will take a few months or even like a year, but it needs to be dealt with, because if it's not dealt with, it's going to kind of like grow into a bigger problem. Those suppressed emotions and feelings, they may come out kind of like they will let us know about those suppressed feelings and emotions through our lifetime. They will be there if not really dealt with right after kind of like the traumatic event. And so that's why I was stated in my previous videos, guys, it's very important to basically develop this connection within, develop this connection with the inner voice, with your soul guidance, because if you are developing this connection within you, then your soul, your inner voice is going to let you know what feelings and emotions that we need to kind of let go of, what feelings and emotions we need to process in that sense. Otherwise, it's going to how can I say, it's almost going to be limiting. Those are limiting qualities to our potential, right? Those are limiting qualities to our potential. It's like the wounds, right? If, for example, there is some type of wound which continues to, let's say, which is not healed fully, it's going to let you know about, the wound is going to let you know about itself through the lifetime. And so same as emotions and feelings, and in many cases they can also result like in physical illness as well, because your personal energy of your personal energy of your soul starts to vibrate on this type of like heavier vibrational frequency. So it's almost like a discord. It's almost like a discord, right? And so she said, Olesya, I already, my friend, going back to my friend, I thought it would be important for me to add this clarification. And so she said, Olesya, I don't know what else to do. I already forgave him. It's been a while. So I would like to help him to kind of transition. And I said, since I already went through some healing process myself, and since I already was kind of, releasing some emotions and feelings of, let's say, I had some trust issues, right? And I think I still have some residual energies of those trust issues within me, but not like I used to, right? And since I was already kind of in the process of healing myself and my emotional wounds, I recommended for my friend, and this is a really good exercise, is basically write a letter to your loved one. I said, hey girl, how about you just write your dad a letter, and please specify in this letter in all the details and specifics what you forgive him for, because he's seeking forgiveness. And when you write this letter, if you're going to experience some type of if you would want to cry, please cry. Don't suppress it and don't repress it. If you want to scream, please scream. Don't suppress it. If you want to beat the pillow, just let it out. Let these emotions out. And so she's like, okay, I'm going to do this. And the best way, actually, after you let's say write this letter and those specifics, and read this letter and reread it multiple times until you no longer have these emotions, until you read this letter and you already kind of calm. If, let's say, for example, you read this letter once and you have this explosion in your emotions, let them out. Read this letter twice. So read this letter twice. If you again have some type of like if you have some type of reaction from you, please go through this reaction, please go through those emotions and let them out, and continue reading this letter until those emotions and feelings are completely out. And so after you're done doing this, and after you like when you feel calm, it's good way to maybe like burn the letter, or maybe like tear it in like small pieces and just throw it away, just kind of like closing this and letting this out of yourself. And in many cases, we think that we dealt with some emotions and feelings. However, I look at this like in an iceberg, right? So I compare those unprocessed and suppressed emotions and feelings, and those kind of psychological traumas, I look at them like an iceberg. In this case, the energy clearly communicated that forgiveness was not fully granted. And in many cases, we are unable to determine if we fully forgave someone, or if we fully release that emotion, because we haven't been taught about this at school. We haven't been taught about this anywhere, right, in the system. At least I wasn't taught about those type of exercises and whatnot. And guys, this is not like the this is not like the fantasy world. This is all real things, because it's scientifically proven that emotional wounds can result in physical physical pains and aches and illnesses and whatnot that we might not understand. Oh, I have so my body is aching here and I have pain there, and I'm not quite sure where it's coming from. And I'll tell you, in many cases, those aches and pains, they're kind of like a direct result from those undealt emotional traumas and wounds. So my friend kind of went through this ritual and whatnot. And to be honest, I didn't call. I think I connected with my friend. I messaged her because the pendulum, within a couple of weeks or so, this energy brought me again to the picture of her dad. Within like a couple of weeks or so, it brought me back to his picture, and it showed me that his soul transitioned fully. And I think I even texted her and said, I said, now now it shows that his soul transitioned. Have you done this? And I think she confirmed via message that she did it. But even that, I didn't really need the confirmation anymore. So it's kind of like the energy showed that his soul transitioned successfully. And so from that point on, I understood. And when you work with this energy, when you kind of emerge in this energy experience, it's kind of like a mutual benefit. And you guys, I will bring, we're kind of at 32 minutes, but I wanted to say very quickly. So it was a mutual benefit for my friend. It's almost like her dad was helping my friend. If we think about from the beginning, I thought, okay, so it's my friend that's helping dad's soul to transition into the dimension where he needed to go. But to be honest, it was almost like a combination of things again. It's not just my friend was helping the soul to transition, but it's almost like her dad's soul was helping my friend to release those suppressed and repressed emotions that like kind of grant this full forgiveness that my friend did not that my friend did not grant at a specific time, and it was kind of weighing you down. Okay guys, we're kind of at 33 minutes. The phone is going to shut off. We're